The reason to be in the coffee business 28 years ago was that if you ask somebody why you got a good cup of coffee or a bad cup of coffee, they couldn't tell you, they wouldn't tell you. Nobody knew anything about coffee. When I started roasting coffee in 1981, people, when I say I roast coffee, they look at me a little bit perplexed and they try to say, so you roast coffee? What's that? Well, you roast coffee. So I'm one of the original coffee roasters in the country of these coffees, of gourmet coffees. Well, what we've got is we've got 150-pound bags of green coffee. There's probably 60 different varieties of coffee beans in here. They lose about 20% weight in the roasting process and change from that green color that we were looking at into a much darker roasted looking bean. Chris, who is in charge, he's the roast master right there. And what we have is giant hot air popcorn poppers if we want to make it simple. We have a roast chamber here. There's down below a big gas burner and a giant fan that blows hot air up through the beans, and the beans float around on hot air. By the time you roast them light, roast them dark, blend them, I can come up with a couple of hundred coffees out of where we're sitting right now. Over the past 27 years, taste, cup, cup, cup. Look at the beans, come up with what's the interesting profile of the coffee. And the only way you can do that is taste, all over and over again. Even the bags that I'm sitting on right here, this one bag that I'm sitting on, there's a chance the one underneath it may not be exactly like the one that I'm sitting on, even though they came in at the same time. So it's a constant tasting of coffees to make sure you have the right profile. We call this the wall of coffee. There's about 3 pounds in each one of these containers. And you can tell more about the taste of coffee without tasting it by the smell. You can tell if it's fresh, if it's a light roast, dark roast, regional taste profile characteristic of some kind. So people come in here and they look, they think the name is interesting, and they smell it. There's nothing quite like the smell of coffee. We've created over the years a family dynamics within Coffee Traders. Whether you're in Montana or you're in Texas or you're in Monteverde, Costa Rica, you'll always find that we're a sustainable family, small business, and not only being that, but that's who we cater to. Paper traders, people that are trading commodities, the price can drop below what it costs to produce coffee. So paying attention to who we're buying our coffees from, even if they're through brokers, we're asking, is this a small co-op? Where's the money going? Is it fair trade? Tell us a little more story about on the growing side of it so that we can make sure that we're being fair trade and doing sustainable business both south of the border and within our own organization. I always suggest if you're a cream and sugar drinker, you ought to taste it black, and you'll be amazed how many times you'll say, gosh, I don't even need to add cream and sugar to this. But if that's the way you like to drink coffee, then that's the way you ought to drink coffee. In 1994, the decision to move into Austin was because of the distance of Montana in shipping coffee to denser markets. Plus, I grew up in Texas, so I remember a small college town, Austin, being one of the more interesting places. Being in Austin, Texas, you're probably a total of 5 hours from Costa Rica. And one of my projects is Monteverde, Costa Rica. So in the morning I can get up, get on an airplane, and by the evening watch the sunset on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica. So there is a real appeal to being closer to where the coffee grows.
Become a Docublogger. Log on to Docubloggers.org to share your opinions and story ideas, or get out your camera and create your own Docublog.